Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to enter the IP address of our copier from a computer web browser. So we could basically tap into the copier and make changes to the templates that are already created on the machine. So here I have a web browser open, and I'm going to put the web IP address of my specific copier in the browser. Mine is 10.6.6.62. Yours is going to be different. Everybody's IP address is different within their company per device. If I hit enter, once I have the IP address, I get a screen that says top access. That's essentially the brain or the interface of the copier. The first thing we want to do is log in the top right corner by clicking login. Now we have a username and a password. For Toshiba's, the default username is admin, which is lowercase, and the default password is 123456, and then press login. Now that I'm logged in as an administrator, the first thing I want to do is I want to click on registration here, the registration tab. Then what I do is I click on public template groups right here. And now over here, which will correlate to what's on the main screen, here I have a template that says scan to gardens. So I have basically a scanning folder set up. I labeled it scan to gardens. In your organization, it may say Debbie scans, Joe scans, or the individual's name identifying a scan location. But here, what I would do is I click over here for if I want to get rid of one that's already on the machine or removing an employee, you select the actual icon to the right of the number over here and allow this to open up. On this page, if I'm editing an existing template, if someone got a new computer and we didn't want to change their button, but we needed to map it to a new folder, let's say, I would hit edit here and then go inside and make changes. But if I'm eliminating this particular person or destination, I would be selecting reset template. And then when I go back, it's actually, instead of showing the template here, it's going to look like number 3 or number 2 over here. They're blank and it says undefined. So basically, by resetting a template is removing employees' scan destinations and resetting their template. If I wanted to add somebody, if I was going to add a scanning destination and somebody was going to scan to their folder, what I would do is I would then find one of these empty slots where it says undefined and click on it. Then what I would do is if I'm going to scan to somebody's email address, I would click scan and I would change save as file and I would make it email and then hit select agent. And over here, I could change panel setting and say scan to Joe email, scan to Jesse email, or Jesse scan. I can name it anything I want. And then down here, I must fill in the to destination. Again, I'm only showing this if people are currently scanning to email addresses. If they are, we make sure we hit to, we hit new, put in the person's email address. You would press OK, save, and then save again on this main template page. I'm going to cancel for the moment. Let's go back, find another spot in case somebody is scanning to a computer folder. Find and open. Let's do number 3. Click here in the empty space, select scan, and keep it as save as file. Save as file means I have a folder on my computer or on a server, and I'm going to scan those PDF files to an actual folder. Then I would hit select agent. What I would do is I could say scan to Darren folder, or I could just call it Darren folder. Hit save, I labeled it. And then where it says save as file setting, I make sure that I uncheck use local folder. I hit remote 1. I would select use user setting. On my computer, I don't have it initially set up to scan to folders, but once you select over here and you put a tick in this box, the network path is going to open up. Login username, that's the person's username on their Windows-based PC. And the password that you would put in would be their password that they log on every morning in Windows. It's not a PIN code that some people use in Windows. It's the actual full password that you would have to enter not just once, but twice here. So once you have the path of their scan folder and their computer Windows login username, and password entered twice, you would select the connection test button, execute over here. It'll be made available to you to select. Your goal, if everything was entered correctly, is you will see a pop-up on the screen that says successfully connected. That means it's making contact with the folder. So when you push that person's scan folder, the scans will go in their folder. So if I hit connection test, execute, and in a few seconds it says successfully connected, I go back up and I make sure it says save, and then I make sure I press save again. So it's 2 saves to get that person registered. And then you could log out of the machine once everything is done. And that's how you add and remove people from the scans.